I do hate to be that guy. I really, really do. But to be honest, the Avengers game that is coming out in the next year doesn't really look that good. I was hyped for it when the first trailer came out, and then I watched it and it didn't really do anything. I've seen a couple of other things since then, but considering how good Spider-Man PS4 was, it's just shocking to me that they couldn't muster up some of that same flair. Like, obviously the game is going to be different gameplay-wise, and it can't be the same. Like, it just can't be the same because the interaction Spider-Man has with his surroundings, it's, you know, New York City and him are just synonymous with each other. So I think that expectation that a lot of people had, and I had from the start, was the wrong thing to do. And I'm trying to just tame my anticipation for it a bit, because maybe I had too many high hopes for it. So this is a new trailer. It might give us a new look into this. It's called the MODOK Threat trailer. So let's get to this trailer. Maybe it will change my mind. Let's get to it. Let's go.
When I was young, I found an orphaned wolf cub in the forest behind our farm. I felt if I could instill rules, the proper boundaries, I could harness the raw power of that beast. A few months later, while hunting, the adolescent cub turned on me.
Alright, okay.
We're fixing the damage the Avengers did all those years ago. Inhumans are sick. Unlimited power, that's dangerous. It's lethal. You are lucky to be alive.
Alright,
Kamala.
he's caught her.
Let AIM help you.
I'll take my chances. What if the Avengers were set up? I think you should see for yourself. Couldn't Mr. Stark help us with this?
Hi, I'm sorry. Who are you?
Kamala?
This better be good.
He totally locked Cap in the reactor room and then he tried to jack the Chimera.
Ah.
Have you all completely lost your senses?
What? Where were you while the world went to hell?
This is our fault. All of ours. You really think the world is better without us? Yes. See, it's always been your problem. Running from who you are, what you are. I am warning you.
This is exactly what Tarleton wants!
Shit.
You struggle against the unstoppable tide of progress, Avengers.
Oh, Abomination.
Has to be destroyed. I will rid the Earth of superpowers, even if it has to end with me.
Wow, that is actually...
It's just got a whole lot weirder.
I guess that's like the premium outfits at the end there, like all their costumes is like the end point. But the motivation there from MODOK, really surprising. Like the way that they decided, I mean, I know the character, I've read him a lot in the comics, but to choose that as the way to go with it, clever. It gives him some unruly type of motivation, like, I'ma just end it all with superheroes. Like, they're not good. All superpowered people, stop it all. And then, like, even if I die, then, like, it's what it is. But, like, at least I will do what was needed to be done. Interesting way of creating a villain there, because he's basically saying he has nothing to lose. That's often done with villains, but it's never stated in that type of way. But putting it like that, it sort of does give them an extra layer of character development there. I do think that it looks better than it did when I watched the first gameplay stuff. This was obviously like no gameplay, and I've seen some other gameplay stuff, and it looks better than it did then, but I'm still not loving the way it seems to feel. It just doesn't have the right type of vibe. I think they tried to put a bit of a Spider-Man PS4 feel with it, and it just doesn't fit. It doesn't fit, and again, it's because, as I said at the beginning, it's the interactivity that Peter has with his surroundings, and because you can just swing off anything and you can climb up anything and everything is like your ball pit, it's your playpen, the whole city is in that game, and that's just not going to be the case with this. Like, you can't build out the world in the same way. Another thing, which is sort of a small one, but I understand why they're doing it, is the fact that Kamala Khan is the main character. She's not a character I love. I'm a bit indifferent to her. I think she's a bit throwaway. Her comic books have not done very well ever, other than like the #1 when it first came out. And I did buy a copy of that and gave it to someone at the time. But the actual story is just a bit meh. Her powers are Mr. Fantastic, basically, as far as I know. And it just seems like they're trying to push this character who had very little success in the comics. And you can say, well, she was huge. She was the first Pakistani-American superhero to have a big run. And it's like, well, was it a big run, though? Because the sales would say otherwise. And comic sales are down in general, so it's not like a unique thing to this particular character. But, you know, Batman is still Batman. Batman still sells a huge amount of comics every week. It's all the sub-story characters that don't, right? So I think it's easy to say that she's, you know, not a very well-known character, and she isn't a very well-known character, but comics don't sell well anyway now. It's not the same as it was 8 years ago. It's not the same as it was 50 years ago. I mean, that was the source of all entertainment for kids 50 years ago. Now, not so much. So I think it's a hard thing to try and place a new character in the public zeitgeist, and to put this person and this story that they're going to bring with them up with the likes of Captain America and Thor and Iron Man and Black Widow and Hulk. And I'm annoyed there's no Hawkeye in this game. I mean, I really am. Like, it's just shocking. You can't do that. You can't be like, yeah, we'll include like bloody Black Widow but not Hawkeye. Like, I'm sorry, there has to be a reason why Hawkeye's not in it, in which case I'm good. If he died, annoying, but I'll buy it. If he is sort of off with his family or some other jazz, then I'll buy it. But other than that, if they don't make any reference to him, especially Nat, I don't like that. But yeah, I just think that it's a bit of a stretch, because they're trying to insert this character who is not well known, and they're just trying to make her more well known by giving her, basically, this is her game. She is the main protagonist, I feel, from the outset, and that's the type of thing they're trying to do with it. I don't know if it'll work. I really don't know if this will be the thing which pushes her to be like a B-list character in comics, because right now she's probably like a D-list character, and that's just the truth of it. If you look at someone like Thor, he's a B-list character. You look at Iron Man, he's a B/C-list character in the comics. 10 years ago, before Iron Man was done, he was a B/C-list character. Captain America was a B-list character. Hulk was maybe an A-list character. Black Widow's like a D-list character. But she's had a very long run in the comics. She's been around for years and years and decades and decades and decades. And because of that, they were able to make something of her character and make something great that Scarlett Johansson was able to bring to the role, and brought these characters to more prominence than they've ever had before. But I just feel it's an odd thing to choose Kamala Khan as the character, to be like, we're going to make it that. And I understand in some ways, being like, it's a kid, so kids buy video games. Kids are the ones who are predominantly going to play this game, like under 18s. So if you have a child protagonist, then it helps with selling to kids. I buy it, I get it. But I just feel you could have chosen a different character to make the game on. Like, I feel you could make a really cool Doctor Strange video game. I really think there's a lot there for you to be able to create something very, very special with that. I feel you could make a Black Panther game, but I feel a Black Panther game would be very much like a Batman game, like an Arkham game. And we've seen that, and that's happened. And it might be great. I might enjoy it just as much as I did some of the Batman games of the last 10 years. But I feel something different and something cool would be something like a Doctor Strange game. And I think it could be done. Like, there are things and particular aspects of the way that story is and the way the character uses his powers that I think could be really well translated into video games. Some people might disagree, and that's absolutely fine. But I think that there's a chance that something really special could be made with that character in particular, as opposed to Kamala Khan or the Fantastic Four or any of those types of characters. Even the X-Men to some degree. I do feel that this game kind of has elements of the DC Universe Online game that I used to play like 8 years ago, maybe 7 years ago. That was really big. That was a very big game. It got a lot of traction and tons of people played it all across the world. And it was super fun. I think this is just, seems like anyway, just like a zooped up version of that. Like, it's not quite polished enough, but the DC game wasn't polished. But it wasn't polished for a reason, because it was a free-to-play game. But at the same time, you could play PvP, there was so many different things you could do with that. And I feel this is like, at the same time, a higher end version of it and a less involved version because you're not as interactive with people worldwide. Maybe there are like PvP modes or something like that, player versus player, but I'm more interested in this game than I was before, but I'm still not super hyped. You can probably tell. I just want it to be good, and it let me down initially, and I've not built up that hype ever since. And I think Endgame might have had a point to do with that. Like, Avengers Endgame sort of was the bookend. It was the end point for the MCU, in my opinion. And I think that Marvel is potentially going to struggle going forwards with their movies, just because it does feel like a culmination point. And I think a lot of people are going to clock out. They're going to be like, okay, that's it done, lads. I'm done with the MCU now. How's the DCU doing? How's that doing? How's that doing? So I think there's a chance DC could spring up here and really take on Marvel over the next 5 years with comic book films. But that's just my opinion. To this trailer, not bad, okay? The motivations for MODOK, the lengths he's willing to go to, good. I like it. I like it a lot. But the main character, bit wishy-washy. Take it or leave it. So yeah. Anyway, guys, if you did enjoy this video, please do like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel down there. If you didn't, then Kamala Khan herself will come after you. Damn, Mr. Fantastic 2.0, but just a kid and less able to use her powers. I don't know what the power she has. Is it just like the stretchiness and like the... it's called M-Body or something like that? M-Power? I don't know. Embiggen. That's what it's called. Wow, yeah, that's I clocked that from reading like one comic book ever of her. She'll come after you. You don't want that. You really don't. So just subscribe anyway to avoid that. And I've been NarendraTheComic. You've been great, and I'll see you next time. That's tomorrow. If you don't know, make a video every single day. You've been doing it for over 2 years now, and we ain't stopping till we get to 10,000 subscribers. So subscribe, click the button, move on with your day. That's all I'm going to say. Click the button, move on with your day. Because once you do that, you can move on with your day. Okay, I'm glad we got there. But yeah, subscribe. That would be really great. As I said, 2 years. Made a video every day for 2 years. No stopping till we get to 10,000 subscribers. So I'll see you again tomorrow, because I'll be back with some more quality shitty content, because I bring more and more of that every single day. Twice more and more. They make good shit. I make quality shitty content, but just not as good. Nowhere near as good as Twice. But like, I try. You can't say I don't try. I try so hard. And I got so far. In the end, that's depressing. It doesn't really matter. I'll be here tomorrow with some more of that, because I'm hashtag never not here. Hashtag never not here. Yeah. See you tomorrow. I'll be here. See you tomorrow. Skadoosh.